Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Hi everyone, Anne-Marie here. Today's Thursday, September the 18th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We had a very big move, very big wick yesterday into the Powell presser. And so what I wanted to stare down is some big picture motion. And I'm going to delete these because I really stink at trend lines. I'm going to try and draw one that sits and holds the majority of everything. Yeah, it could break it. I don't trade the trend lines. I really don't. But what I do notice is we have extremely high cumulative delta that's negative. And so if we have very high negative delta and price action keeps moving up, it's short covering that we are likely seeing. The problem with short covering is that even as prices move higher, if the traders try to reshort, they're going to continue to drive price higher. And whenever they run out of whatever it is, the cash they're moving with, they're going to turn around and absolutely drop everything to the floorboard because there's no buying that's intrinsic. Okay, stock buyback window is also going to close, and that is going to pull some liquidity out of the market as well. Right now, we are well over the call wall, which is 6,700, but at the same time, having 22,000 negative delta, I think we see a pretty big move into the open, and all roads point north, right? Take a look at the last couple of days in terms of price action. Not very much momentum. Look over here, and this is pre-market momentum. That's gigantic. They are taking off their hedges. They're moving in the other direction. I don't know if they did it with options. They're going to have to buy the index, whatever it is. Big money, some very big money is caught off sides. A lot of people were talking about buy the rumor, sell the news, and that is not what happened. And so, very important, right? Dips or buys. What's the first place we want to see a buy? 6,700. Here's our 4 a.m. candlestick we've been watching. That's 6,706. That's the first place the buyers have come in. If we lose that ledge, we should step into 6,700, where the VWAP is and where the call wall is. And then there should be another huge fight right here. The 4 a.m. candlestick from, what is that? Today is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. The Tuesday 4 a.m. candlestick shows a breakout formation at 66.87. You remember yesterday I said, hey, listen, somebody just dropped 1,100 contracts short at 6,676. I said that should be resistance for the day. It was. They opened up the new day, bounced out of the region. Remember, when we leave the formation, the first thing the traders will try to do, besides cover or buy it up, one, they're going to bounce it into prior resistance. Where is that? That's the 30-minute candlestick of the opening for Tuesday. That's where they bought it up, right? Just go back to the high volume candle to see the likely targets. Once they get out, they're going to try to come back into the high volume pocket. If the buyers don't let them do that, they're off to the races. And you can look to the left and watch these levels that we bounce out. You're like, whoa, that's all-time highs. What do? You draw yourself a Fibonacci on that high volume candle, and it gives you the benchmarks for where to move. Wait for the benchmark, watch the risk, take the trade, get out at the resistance level. Don't let your mind go, man, if I'd have held that. Listen, I still think those things when I trade, but you can't. The goal is process-oriented motion. We do not have enough money to push the market around, right? And we definitely don't if we're sitting in a sim account, which is what many of us are doing, trying to get to the next space. Okay? All right, so that's what we're looking at. Value area high, 6,676. Point of control, 6,670. VWAP very nearby that. Value area low, 6,656, something like that, 57. And then, of course, we've got gamma lines below. This is very bullish based on the negative delta. I want you to be super careful on that. I really, really do. Nothing wrong with being cautious when there are alligators swimming in the pond. You feel me? Okay, let's take a look at the NQ. Apparently, NVIDIA and Intel signed a deal. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's very interesting to me. But that should give quite the boost to a number of instruments in tech. We still continue to move up. Where is our 4 a.m. candlestick formation? 2, 3, 4. Here we are. Does the same thing. Holding as frontline support. I don't know why that 4 a.m. candlestick has become so important to structure, but it sure has. It's given us a breakaway formation. It's back to Tuesday's 4 a.m. candlestick. Hat tip to Tom Hugard on how he is running it for European markets, but, you know, I find it to be very, very interesting. Do we have a topping formation here? Potentially, but you got a ton of momentum and trend. Pullbacks to the VWAP or slightly below, we're going to see buying pressure. We also have a potential support zone sitting at the 30-minute candlestick open from 2 days ago. That is 24,602. And then value area high, 24,540-ish. Value area low, 24,408. Look at what is going on here. How crazy this is. The put wall for 0 DTEs is above the call wall for the monthly OPEX. This is going to be crazy between today and tomorrow. They are well over call resistance and the call wall. This is a squeeze, folks. And squeezes, I don't know if anybody remembers the Volkswagen squeeze from, 2008, 2009. It went to $700 or something. It was pure insanity. It was pure insanity. It's one of the biggest squeezes in an individual name, but squeezes are real and they can run. So don't trade with anticipation that this is going to fall off a cliff. Trade level to level. And when the levels break, make sure you've got your risk established, and then you get out of Dodge if the risk expands or falls into your stop. Trade small size over the next couple of days. It's going to be wild. All right? Going to be crazy. All right, let's take a look at micro Bitcoin, just for grins. Big difference between the put wall and the call wall. Let's turn that off so we can see a little bit of price action. Naturally, if the rates come in, alternative, and I'm saying this in quotations, alternative stores of wealth are going to rise. That's why we've got Bitcoin doing what it's doing. Notice it's still pretty far from its high, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days sitting in this space. Lot of buying going on, but this is the sort of level when we see accumulation and distribution. This is the sort of level we see when price action takes a little dip. All right, just for grins. If you want to see what that looks like in the ES, it doesn't give us accumulation and distribution here, and I don't know why. That's weird. All right, never mind. Okay, so let's finally look at gold. Interesting. This is what I would have expected the market to do, but this is a profit-taking formation in my mind, right? We have 1, 2, 3 topping events, and then 4 at 3,740. That moved almost $100 down before it bounced, but now we have lower highs and lower lows, right? So this, to me, is a rotation event. Now, where's the real breakdown? We got to lose 3,680, right? Otherwise, it's still a buy zone. 3,660 is the line in the sand. And so if we see this 3,660 lose, the buyers are going to try and buy it. But if we bounce and have a failure, we've got more downside pressure. If you're staring it down on the tighter time frames, right? Very big volume candle at the release, but not the actual Fed chair commentary. The broad markets moved on the Fed chair commentary. Gold just moved on the release of the number. I find that to be very interesting. Now, let's draw Fibonacci because the move is so big. Notice the 1.5 below is 3,650. We've got yesterday's VWAP, closing VWAP at 3,708. That could be a breakout area that sends us into this 930 candlestick. Remember, Asia moves at these 930 levels. That 930 candlestick takes us from 3712 all the way to 3722, right? Big ranges. We can make a lot of money in gold today, but it is dangerous. It's dangerous price action. So you just want to be careful. The candlestick at 2 a.m. is carrying the highest pre-market volume, and that puts us right at the floor of the Fed release. And so I expect that 3,680 to 3,684 gives us that relative framework to watch. All right, let's last look at SPY. I've done this recording 4 times, folks. It's just bananas. So, wow, I missed this spike. But now here we are up at 665. What a beast of a move. What a beast of a move. And they tried to fill the gap, coming down to $661.76, literally on the tick. But it's going to matter when it moves in. Let's see what number that was that came in Thursday. Nope. Jobless claims come in 13 minutes. So that's what we're staring down. Again, a ton of pre-market motion, a ton of momentum. Dips are buys. Dips are buys until they're not. So just look at your support floors, right? There's the 4 a.m. candlestick. That's when SPY starts trading at that 4 a.m. motion at $663.73. That's going to be the support floor for the trading day today. Dips are buys. We just broke out of this big sideways pocket. And so if we were to stare down the volume event for the Fed on that 30-minute area, now you can also draw this on a 15-minute if you'd like to tighten up the range. But you can see that this zone is a support floor as well. So watch the bounces. Probably going to give us some more buying pressure based on the negative delta here. I'm going to wait and see what price action settles out. Deep support would be value area low between $657, $658, with this area here really giving us the best buying pressure events that we can see. Traders are trying to get above this zone. The breakaway formation is 665. All right? Okay, everybody, take care. I'll see you on the streams. Big day today.